Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Cash, wallets, credit cards, get these items out of your car. That's just part of the warning from police in the Fox Valley.
Over the past few weeks, police in Fox Crossing alone say they've responded to more than 24 reports of thefts from vehicles, which they say could have easily been prevented. Holly Brantley is live in the Fox Valley tonight with more on this investigation. Holly.
Right, these aren't just happening in Fox Crossing, but in multiple jurisdictions and towns across the Fox Valley. And police say these could exactly be easily prevented. All you have to do is lock your doors. Report after report, 28 in all between last Thursday and Saturday on different streets across Fox Crossing. People waking up and going out to their cars to discover someone had rifled through their things and stolen from them.
This is a very, very simple thing to prevent.
Officer Daniel Wickman says in the majority of cases, the cars were simply unlocked, some with eye candy for criminals in plain sight.
They're looking for anything that has potential value. So if they see a purse laying out, they'll grab that and they'll rummage through that at another location and discard that or anything that they don't find of value, looking for cash or anything of value that has potential to be sold. It wasn't just Fox Crossing. Neenah, Menasha, and other communities dealing with the same issue.
In the city of Menasha, the first week of August, we had a rash of thefts in two specific blocks of the city. One was in Marquette Street and the other was on Brighton Drive. I think there was probably about a dozen or so vehicles gone through on that particular incident and date.
Now police are working together. They have 2 suspects in custody.
Specifically, what helped us in that investigation was camera systems, in-home surveillance systems, Ring doorbells, things like that.
Police across the Fox Valley saying these crimes are easy to prevent. They want people to take part in what they call the 9 o'clock routine.
Basically, that's just reminding you over social media that, hey, it's 9 o'clock at night, it's starting to get dark, it's summer hours, let's go check our vehicles, make sure they're locked so we're not victimized.
So we don't know the names of the suspects, but we can tell you that one is an adult and one is a juvenile. Now, this takes a lot of manpower for those police departments, so they say they can't stress it enough. Simply go outside, remove your valuables, and lock the doors of your cars and trucks. Live in Grand Chute, Holly Brantley, Action 2 News.